Welcome back to 80s month, and this is another Throwback Thursday where we are going to go back in time. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, it is the 80s, and we already handled Thundercats, and then we went to Knight Rider, but now we are going to do my most requested, mostly because it was my only requested, video yet. But before we do, 80s Then and Now did this whole thing where he was trying to get people to build a community, and I like communities. I talk about it all the time. So, what I'm doing here is I'm advertising his channel, and hopefully he'll advertise mine in return, and we can both get some subscribers. In the meantime, though, we are going to talk about Gem and the Holograms. And before anyone says anything, no, not that Gem, the real one, the 80s cartoon. Now, the way I rate my shows is based on D&D medals, and I wanted to give it a gold, I really did, but it's an Electrum. This is definitely one of those pieces that if you don't have nostalgia, you're not going to feel it. I'd love to hear your comments, though. I'd love to hear what you think about Gem and the Holograms, both old and new. I understand there's a really awesome comic book out there right now, though I haven't read it. But just so you know, what I do here is I review stories as they come out and Throwback Thursdays like this. But I also do concept videos, how and why we tell stories. I do those 2 Sundays a month now. If that sounds interesting to you, click subscribe as we kick off 80s month once again with Gem and the Holograms. And let me just start by saying what made it truly outrageous. It was empowerment fantasy. It was what James Bond was for guys, but it was for women. And back then, I didn't even realize it was meant for women, because I always loved this show, even in the 80s. But alright, let's throw up that spoiler warning, and let's get started. What? Oh, yeah, 80s, I guess no spoiler warning. So like anything else, we're going to start with the setting. And the setting is quintessential 1980s. Big hair, glam bands, but it's also Starlight House. And Starlight House is something special. When we get to the plot, we're going to talk about Starlight and what it means. But that house in particular means something very particular for the setting of this world. But let's move on into characters. And of course, the title character gets the beginning. It's Gem and the Holograms. Basically, they are the lead singer in the band. And the lead singer is Gem. She is outgoing, powerful personality. Her younger sister is also in the show, but not necessarily in the band. The main one that actually gets a personality is Shauna, who I would like to point out is probably second to Gem in being the best at just about everything. But then we have 2 backup people, one of which is Aja. And I'll be honest, I mostly remember her as comic relief, and I don't even remember the other one's name. But you see, this is the star of the show. This is Erica Benton. Erica Benton uses synergy to become Gem. And that's what I mean by empowerment fantasies. She's like Captain Marvel. Shazam Captain Marvel, not the Marvel character. She says it's Showtime synergy, and she becomes Gem. But now's a good time to get into plot. The plot is pretty straightforward. Synergy is a supercomputer capable of projecting holograms, and she is going to help the girls save Starlight House. What's Starlight House? It's an orphanage that Erica's father was working on. But Erica doesn't have the money or capability to keep it running. She needs to win a battle of the bands. But she can't because she doesn't have the confidence. And she herself is just so plain, because, beautiful blondes are plain. The earrings her father gave her access to the supercomputer and the holographic display. And when she says the magic word, she becomes Gem. Truly outrageous. So it's time to actually get a little complicated. Point of view. Most of the point of view is Erica, aka Gem. But every once in a while we dip into her younger sister. Especially this framing device is used when they want to showcase that someone is going to get in trouble, so that Erica has to rescue them later. And every once in a while we dip into one of the other Starlight girls too. But alright, let's talk about theme and symbolism here. And this is where we're going to have some fun. Because it's Showtime synergy. And alright, so, mild-mannered Eric Benton becomes the truly outrageous Gem. But I want you to think about what that symbolizes. The fact that power for a woman comes when she can not be herself, when she can pretend to be someone else, someone sexier, someone more glamorous, someone truly outrageous. Because the nerdy the smart Erica Benton needs to let loose. And remember, the music is all her. She's the star. And again, she's a beautiful blonde to begin with. So why does she need this? Because she needs to have that something because of that phony Hollywood music scenario. It's very realistic. And then there's the villain they fight. Well, antagonist. A corrupt record label and the misfits. What are the misfits? The misfits are everything that's wrong with music industry. Catty rivalry and wanting to tear down instead of work together. And I want you to think about that. What the symbolism means when you realize that the two women bands were so far going at it that they actually came to physical violence a couple of times. But okay, now that here comes the time for me to be able to justify my Electrum rating to you. Especially since I just messed up some of the names. So what's the good, the bad, and the ugly about Gem? Well, the good is simple. It is beautifully done, it is fun and inspirational, and the hero isn't necessarily violent. The bad. Well, if you don't have nostalgia for the 80s, you're not going to be able to really stomach too much of this. Although the music is awesome because it's all 80s music. But then comes the ugly, and the ugly is back to that theme. And the fact is that I don't think it was put there on purpose. I think the ugly truth is that by accident, this fun kiddie cartoon showcases just how much women have not come in this world. Alright, so that's kind of a deep thought. And all of these are the reasons why I don't like the Gem movie. So let me just quickly unpack that for you. They rob the hero of all of her heroic qualities, and they do it by making it just another show about someone becoming a star. Again, it could have just been Justin Bieber Never Say Never Again Part 2. They also rob all the magic of the holograms. They rob the idea of Erica Benton being successful on her own. They rob the fact that she was an adult, empowered. Alright. So those were my thoughts on Gem. This time I really want to know yours. What character was your favorite? And did the fact that I didn't mention the boyfriend at all bug you? Keep in mind it's 80s month, and this is pretty much the end of it. So give me a like, a share, and of course, if you're coming here especially from 80s then and now, click subscribe to join our little community. Because what I do here is I'm exploring how and why we tell stories, and part of that is flashing back. And the 80s is a fun time to flash back to. Sometimes on purpose and sometimes by accident when I'm doing things like Voltron or Strange Things reviews on Netflix. But for now, I hope that you have a good day, and thank you for walking with me through the heart of Gem and the Holograms.